Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. It's another week, huh? Goes by really quick. So we're going to spend the next hour and a half together practicing mindfulness meditation using various modality, including exercise. And today we alternate week to week. So today we're going to be towards the end of class, we're going to be doing something called Jing, YJJ, which roughly translate into renewal of tendon, right? So it's a very old qigong exercise. And so to pair with that, we're going to be doing massage on our energy points as well as the meridians. Okay, all right. Now, just a quick announcement. Turns out that there's a disagreement between Insight Timer and Apple Computer. So Apple is actually taking 30% of all the donations that you make if you were to use iPhone and iPad. So if you use an iPhone and iPad and you want to support our work in bringing Dharma to those who are currently incarcerated or have been incarcerated, bringing loving kindness and compassion to those who do not have a voice, um, it would be best if you make the donation on my profile page. Okay? And I hope this is just temporary and it's a temporary inconvenience for all of us. But in any case, so let's just focus on our body right now, bringing our body and our mind together. That's the true meaning of yoga. Is bringing the mind and the body together. And now on Wednesday, I just a couple of days ago, Bodhidharma spent an hour with us talking about mindfulness of the feeling. And so it's important that we understand the difference between physical feeling and mental feeling. All right, physical feeling is when we feel pain, numbness, heat um, on our body, and mental feeling is when you get either attached to um, um, the feeling, or you become averse to the feeling, whether it is joyful or non-joyful, and that becomes suffering. All right, so it's very important to separate the physical part from the mental part. So in training that, we can use the body. All right. So we're going to start with with the fingers. So I want you to focus once again on your body. I want you to examine the bottom of your feet. I want you to examine your fingers and your palm. I want you to examine the bottom of your spine and slowly walk up the spine towards the neck to the top of the head. As you do that, stretch your spine and then lean back your upper torso. Now focus on your shoulder, open your shoulder, and then relax your shoulder. Now come back to the left hand. Notice that most of us have 5 fingers, and each one of them have 2 joints. So I want you to focus on one finger at a time, one joint at a time. Now I want you to take the right hand, okay, and use the thumb, and notice that there's a joint here, and put that on top of your finger. And as you massage your joints, I want you to identify the front of the joint, the left of the joint, back to the right of the joint. And once you're done with one joint, move to the other. Okay, move the other. Let go of the last one. Don't get attached to it, or don't become averse to the feeling. And now, once you finish with one finger, move on to the next finger. Massage again, left and right. And then I'll move on to the next joint, one at a time, one finger at a time, one joint at a time. And as you do that, I want you to really examine the feeling that you have, the change of the body, the heat, the sweat, the numbness, the pain, if any. And now continue. Okay, now we're going to move from the left hand to the right hand, again, using the thumb and just massage the joint. Now, this is actually a meditation. Okay, meditation doesn't mean sitting meditation. Meditation could be in any form. And now we're going to take the hand and going to flip so that the palm is facing down. And we continue to massage the joints one at a time. Again, focusing on examining the change of the body. Some of you know that I returned from my recent trip, and I go to Japan about three times a year. 3 times a year. That's what I used to do before the pandemic. I'm starting to go back to that now. And I like to go when there's fall color. I like to go when there's snow, and I like to go when there's cherry blossom. But I don't actually go for that. I go for the Zen culture. It's the only place on earth now that retained that Zen culture that came from China back in the Tang Dynasty. And most of the people, I bet all the people who live in Japan, all the Japanese people, they don't even know that they're practicing Zen. They don't even know that. But then you will find that whatever that is that they do, they're completely focused on it. As simple as when you buy a souvenir from a shop, the person who works behind the counter, she takes great care in wrapping it and presenting it. And that's the essence of Zen meditation in that, or mindfulness meditation, or Vipassana meditation. They are the same in that you're completely focused on what you're doing now. You're completely engaged with what you're doing now. You're using your body and your breath, right, to feel that the presence. And so on Wednesday, I talk about mindfulness. It's essentially inviting your body and your breath to be your travel companion as you travel into this journey, so that they become your guide and the precursor of any suffering. Right? As soon as you feel the pain, you know that what's coming. They become very sensitive. All right. So now we're going to continue. I want you to open your shoulder again, relax your shoulder, put the two hands together right on top of the left. And now I want you to massage in between the fingers as well as the back of the palm and the center of the palm. And now do the other way. Massage the hand. Now I want you to come back to the tip of each of the finger. Each one of them has a nail on the two corners of the nail. I want you to squeeze that a little bit, both hands. The places that I'm working on are the energy points, and I'll explain the basis for that in a minute. Now I want you to take the left hand, use the index finger and the thumb, grab onto each of the joint and just pull on that finger. And just pull on the finger. Now do the same thing on the right hand. Grab onto each of the joint and just pull on it. You will find that when you exercise the fingers like I do, you actually relieve a lot of the pain in your body. As we get old, we get all kinds of pain in the body, arthritis, frozen shoulder, all kinds of stuff, and they are all related to inflammation in the body. And as you clear the energy, even starting the fingers, you're clearing the chi into your body. Once you clear the chi, the inflammation goes down and you feel a lot less pain. Even though you only work in the finger, you're not massaging your neck and your shoulder yet, okay? All right, so now what we want to do is I want you to show you how to squeeze your fingers. So I want you to use the thumb, put the thumb and the index finger together and squeeze. Now do the the middle finger and squeeze. And then the ring finger, squeeze. And then the pinky, squeeze. All right, do the same thing on this side, squeeze. Second, index finger, squeeze. Oh, middle fingers. Oh, sorry. One at a time. Squeeze and then squeeze. Okay, now put the tip of the fingers together. Okay, and then form that mudra with the center of the palm touching, and then bring it down. So you're squeezing the fingers as well as the wrists, and then come back, and we're going to be tapping the fingertip. Okay, fingertip has 10 very important energy points. Now, when you do that, I want you to stretch the fingers. Okay, make it tight so you feel the vibration. Completely focus on that vibration. All right, mindfulness meditation. All right, get ready. 30 times. Go. Now, when you cross the fingers, there are energy points in between fingers, there are 8 of them. And again, tap that 30 times. Okay. All right. So now we're working uh, from the fingers to the palm, and then also from the inside of the arm. So the inside is the energy lines. We named that after yin, which is the absence of the sun. The other side is yang, which is the sun, right? How it's influenced by the sun. And the fingers there are the origination of these energy line. This one is we name after the heart, but it's really more closer to the mental part of the heart. In Chinese, we don't separate. It's the same word, whether you're talking about the organ or you're talking about the mind. The middle one is the one that we name after the pericardium. That's the heart, and then the thumb is the lung. So it's very important that we clear these energy lines. So we're going to start with the pinky, and as you travel down the center of the palm, we're going to press that with the thumb, and then the other side, we press that with the thumb. We're going to put that together. We're going to tap, forming a V. We're going to tap that 30 times. Okay, we're going to continue to work on this. And as it comes down, now you notice that when you fold your wrist like this, there's a line. And what we want to do is locate that point that is in between two tendons. Okay, the energy points are always in between something. And I want you to press on that. Okay, now the this energy line is very important. As we grow old, the quality of our sleep suffers. Sometimes we even um, become insomnia. So this is very bad, right? If you cannot sleep, that's where aging starts. And the other one, and again, at the wrist, finding the in between, right? When you come down to the finger, finding the in between, press on that. And so right now, what we're doing is we're clearing the mind energy line, or the heart energy line. Mind and heart the same, and that would hopefully improve your sleep. So now I want you to identify about 4 fingers worth, and I want you to kind of massage that. Again, it's in between, okay? In between, massage that. And now massage that. And you feel a little bit of soreness when you do that. Okay, so this one runs along, and then we're going to be tapping the energy point here, which is very important. But as it comes along, you notice that there's a little bit of hanging muscle, right? And if you feel that it's very soft, that's not good. If it's very tight, it's also not good. So put the 4 fingers behind, the thumb in front, and just kind of massage that. And the other side, put the 4 fingers in the back and massage that. Okay, we will continue to work on this energy line when we tap here. Now I want you to go from the little finger to the thumb. Okay, now the thumb also runs from the finger all the way. Now, but it's running on the inside of the bone. So if you feel the bone, it's actually on the inside of the bone. On the outside of the bone is the yang part, which is the one that we name after the large intestine. So we're going to work on that, right? So first, we're going to work on the corner of your nail and press on that. Now, as you come down, I want you to follow that bone, and you notice that between the bone and this piece of muscle, there's a gap, and so I want you to find that, and then just press on, and you feel a bit of tenderness when you do that. And then same thing. First, start with the nail, and then move down. Right? You find the bone, and then you find the muscle, right? So in between the bone and the muscle, press on that. And then I want you to put that together, forming a V with your palm. Gonna hit impact, tap that 30 times. Get ready, go. Okay. Now, as you come along this energy line, you come to the wrist. Okay. Again, one energy point. And then turns out that there's another one that's very important. One finger down. Press on that. And then now it comes back to the elbow. Press on that. And then four fingers back between the bone and the muscle. Press on that. Okay, same thing on the other side. Start with the thumb, then here, then here, here, and then the wrist, elbow, and then four fingers back, and we press here. Yeah, so let me talk a little bit about these energy points and what is the possible scientific basis for them, right? So these are 1,000-year-old knowledge passed on one generation to another generation. So I often talk about science, right? Usually, the Western scientists, they think of what they do is science, and then everything else is, at best, they would call you pseudoscience. Actually, the better perspective is to think of science as either experimental or experiential. Okay, the Western science is experimental. Everything has to be proven, has to be able to observe. You have to be able to understand it with your brain. Whereas the Eastern science, whether it is Chinese or Indian, I would call that experiential. Now, the word experience means two things. One is that you actually have to experience it. And you can only do that when you experience your body. You can only do that when you're a meditator, right? When you actually, when we talk about the mindfulness of feeling, understanding the difference between the physical feeling and the mental feeling. And once you do that, then you're able to examine your body much more clear. And that's how historically, how they discover all these energy points is that they're meditators. And so that's one meaning of the word experience is to actually be able to do that on your own without any tool, right? The second meaning of experience is to pass it on from one generation to another. Okay, so these I would call these science, but I would call it experiential science. So what is the science in that? And so if I were to ask you, out of all the organs that you have in your body, the heart, the lung, the liver, and all that, when you're inside the womb of your mother, which one get developed first? What is the one organ that you must have before you can have everything else? We know that those five elements, those five yin organ, right? Yin organ are like the heart, the lung, the liver, the splint, and the kidney. Those are the important ones. Those you must have. The others you can borrow from your mother, the intestines, right? The bladders, the and so forth and so on. But out of that, what is the first one you must develop? Martha says kidney. Of course, the answer is not so obvious. It's a trick question because the first organ that get developed is not even in that list. The first organ that get developed is the connective tissue. If you didn't have any connective tissue, and all connective tissue is like the casing of the sausage. If you didn't have that, none of the organ would get developed because none of the organ would be able to be a standalone organ, right? What's around the liver is connective tissue. What's around the intestines is connective tissue. So the modern scientists, as they examine the ancient science, they start to understand that actually there's one organ that is throughout our body, right? That get developed first. It's actually the most important organ, which is called the connective tissue. Now we start to understand that we give it a name, and it's called fascia. Fascia comes from the word myofascia. So in that case, it's still very limited because we're really only talking about the muscle. Myofascia means the connective tissue of the muscle. In between the muscle, right, there might be a blockage, right? So we're talking about here's a muscle, here's a muscle. Each one has a connective tissue. They, as they join, becomes a channel. And what runs through the channel, the scientists believe now is basically hydrogen. It's basically hydrogen, and it comes from water, right? Obviously, but in any case, what we're talking about as we talk about these meridians and also the energy points is actually in between the muscle or the muscle and the nerve or the nerve and the blood vessel. It's all the connected tissue. It's all connected. The entire body has this one gigantic organ, the most important one, the one that is completely ignored by the experimental scientists. It's called the connective tissue. And that's what we're working on, right? All right, so we're going to continue. We're going to continue. And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to scrape. And again, we're not scraping on the muscle. We're not scraping on the bone. We're trying to scrape in between, scraping the interface between these different parts, which are the connective tissue. So I want you to identify the center line. This is the energy line that we name after pericardium. Below is the heart, above is the lung. Now the lung is actually right below the bone. So you feel the bone and it's between the bone and the muscle. All right. So I want you to take the right hand and use the knuckle and just scrape starting at the elbow in the middle and then all the way to the wrist. Come back. Now you will start to feel some pain, but it's a very pleasant kind of pain, especially if you have carpal tunnel. All right. If you have carpal tunnel, this is the exercise you want because carpal tunnel is inflammation of the worst kind. And by clearing the energy line, you're actually reducing inflammation. Now, this is the pericardium. So now I want you to move up to the lung, which is below the bone, right? Not on top of the bone, but it's, you can feel it. It's in between the bone and the muscle. Again, from the wrist, up from the elbow, all the way down. And then now straighten up the arm, and I want you to scrape on top of the bone. And the reason we scrape on the bone is that their energy actually crosses over. And if you have blockage of the energy line, you feel some kinks in here. And also, as you do that, you realize that you generate some electricity. It's a very strange feeling. Okay, so now we're going to move on the other side of the bone. And this is, we're approaching the yang side now, the side that is exposed to the sun. And this first one is called the large, named after the large intestine. Now, straighten your arm, we're going to do the center line. The center line is something that we call the triple warmer. And I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to work on the back of the hand, including the thumb, the fingers. Right? It's tremendously comfortable. I mean, it's amazing. I do this all day. I actually do this all because I use computer all day. And if I don't do that, it's very painful. And okay, and then lastly, we're going to work on the energy line that we name after the heart, which is the one that we were working on before. All right. Okay, now we're going to do it the other hand. Again, starting at the elbow, scrape to the wrist, come back, use the knuckle, okay? And then now we're going to scrape below the bone. And then on top of the bone. And then above the bone, along the center line, the back of the hand, the fingers, the thumb back to the fingers, the back of the hand, like once again, the center line, on top of the bone, inside, and then also this side. Okay? Okay? I do this all day. I do this all day because whenever you have any kind of repetitive motion, you could be a sushi chef and have repetitive motion, or you could be a retired person like I am, but end up using computers and iPad, iPhone all day, and your thumb hurts, your fingers hurt, and then in the middle of the night you don't know what's happening. You're just like really, really uncomfortable, and you scrape and you scrape and you scrape and you scrape. Now you can buy these scraping tools, right? The Chinese word for this modality is actually called guasa. Okay, but you don't have to. Just use a finger. Fingers, your hands are your healing hands anyway. All right, so now we're going to continue with exercise and doing a little bit more dynamic form exercise. So we're going to open the shoulder and then relax the shoulder. Sit up straight, pointing all 10 fingers in front, locking the elbow. This is action equal to reaction, okay? So as we let go of the fingers, energy goes out and then it comes back, all right? All right, so now again, locking your elbow. Okay, now 4 fingers of the spring, the thumb is what's holding down the spring. So when you do this exercise, it's important that you wind up the 4 fingers first, hold it down as tight as you can, and then just let it go once at once. Okay, get ready. 1, come back. 2, come back. Wind it up first. 3, wind it up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back. Continue the exercise. Open your shoulder. Relax your shoulders. There's 2 very important energy points called the gate to the cloud. This energy line that we name after the lung comes along and then goes inside the body here. This is the last one that is actually exposed. Okay. So open the shoulder, relax the shoulder. And we're going to form a hand gesture that is actually very important to your health. Take the middle finger and take the thumb and the middle finger. Okay, press them together tightly, and then the other fingers, right? We stretch out the other fingers. All right. Now then we point to this energy point, right? This is called the lotus hand. We sit up straight and back of the hand facing the camera. Get ready. 1, back of the hand facing the camera. Back to the hand gesture, putting the thumb and the middle fingers together, press them. Take the other 3 fingers, stretch them, put it onto this energy point. Back of the hand facing the camera. Get ready. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? All right. Now we're going to tap on these energy points now. And when we finish with upper torso, then we'll work on the bottom of the lower part, including massaging the toes, the same way that we massage the fingers. All right. All right. So now we're going to open the shoulder, relax the shoulder, sit up straight, taking the right hand, forming the empty hand. Right. So there's a pocket. Now you put the fingers on top and the palm in front. And when we do this, we're actually using air. So we like this. Okay. Now, I want you to take your left ear. I want you to listen to it one at a time. This is a meditation. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. Okay, now we're going to move on to the right shoulder. Open the shoulder, relax your shoulder, taking your left hand, forming the empty hand, put that on top. Listen with the right ear. Get ready. Wake up. Continue. And now we're going to open the shoulder again, relax the shoulder. We're going to locate the elbow, put that on top of your head. Okay, now make sure that you're leaning back your forehead. So you're putting stress on this part, which is the important part of the of the heart energy line. Then you take your in finger and your thumb and you squeeze that top of the ear. You take your right hand, you form the empty hand, you put that on your armpit. This is where the heart energy line comes into your body. All right. Again, don't look down. Lift up your head. Okay. So you're putting stress in here. Get ready. Listen. Wake up. Continue. And the other hand, putting the index finger and the thumb on the top part of the ear. All right. And make sure you're leaning back the forehead so you're putting pressure in here. Now you take the left hand, put that here, turn the head to the left, listen with the right ear, wake up, continue. And now we move from the shoulder to the armpit to the elbow. Open your shoulder, relax your shoulder. Take your left hand, lock your elbow, palm at the eye level. You take your right hand, empty hand, fingers on top, and then the palm on the side. Three energy points, but make sure that you lock your elbow. Make sure you're using empty hand. Make sure that you put your palm at eye level. Now you listen with the left ear. Wake up. Continue. And the other side. Lock your elbow. Left hand, empty hand, right ear. Wake up. Continue. Okay. Now we're going to do one more before we move on to the lower part of our body, and that's in the back. That's in the back. Now, I talk a great deal about how we observe, how we understand the body in terms of its degrees of existence, so that we understand that our existence is beyond the physical part of the body. There's also the energy part, and there's also the mind, the mental part, right? So the Chinese and the Indians, they believe that our body is just like any other living organisms, right? So instead of talking about body, suppose I would talk about tomato. I'm going to want to grow tomato in my backyard. So you say, well, is there water? Because you can't grow that in the desert. If there's no water, you can't grow that. There's sun. You can't grow that in a cave, right? So you know that both the water and the sun are important. And it's only when you have water in the sun, then the soil would um, would be able to cultivate life, right? And then, of course, you also have two other things besides that, and one of which is the mineral, right? So you have actually these five elements, right, that I talked about in the past: the water, the vegetation, the sun, and then the soil and the water. So the Chinese and the Indians, they think of their body as an energy system, and they think of it as the balance between those five elements. And they identify the kidney as the water, and they identify the heart as the sun, as the fire. And what's between are the organs like the splint and the stomach and everything else. And it's very important to have that balance. And when you don't have the balance, one thing that happens is that your mouth becomes very dry because you have too much fire, or your feet become very cold because you have too much water. They're not mixing, right? So mixing the water and fire is actually a very uh, old technique for maintaining health. All right. So this next exercise, we're going to do two, mixing water and fire. Right. The first one is working on your back. You open your shoulder, relax your shoulder. You're taking your right hand. You use the center of palm. You reach as far back as you can. There's an energy point here that is related to water, fire. Then you take the other hand. Use the back of the hand. You wrap around the other side, right? And at the waist, and you rotate the body, and you go one, two, okay? And now we're done with upper torso. Okay, so we're gonna work on the lower part of the body. So I'm very sensitive to my body, as you can tell, and I am my own uh, healer, and so um, I keep track of um, symptoms in my body. So three things very important. I must sleep very well. The quality of my sleep must be very good. I typically go to bed around 11, even though, or maybe 11:30 at most. Very rarely do I go past midnight. And I wake up around 6. I actually wake up before my alarm clock without getting up in the middle of the night. Quality of sleep is really good. Very important. Very important, right? Why is it important that I sleep before 11 o'clock? That's when the your gallbladder energy line becomes active for 2 hours. From 11 to 1, and then from 1 to 3 is your liver um, energy line becomes important. Those are the yin and yang pair. So every night it's as if you're getting a blood transfusion for 4 hours. So it's very important that you sleep when you do that. Then from 3 to 5 is when your lung energy lines becomes active. And so it's very important for me to clear my lung energy lines so that I sleep past 5 o'clock. All right. And then I wake up and it's time for the large intestine. So I usually go to the bathroom, do my business in the morning. And I don't constipate. I don't have that problem. So constipation is the second problem. Not getting good sleep, not sleeping at all, not getting good quality sleep, being constipated all the time. And then finally is your appetite, right? You must have good appetite. And so there's three things. The rest, two more. My mouth is never dry. My feet is never cold. So those are symptoms that you have a good health, right? And then you can have others like um, can you walk up and down the stairs? Uh, uh, do you huff and puff when you walk up and downstairs? So those are typical things they're like that. And so it turns out that as I look at my financials, I've been on this platform for 3 years now. 3 years, exactly 3 years, and so most of you has been with me for 3 years. That's amazing. I hope I hope your health improve for those 3 years of hard work. One other thing, one other thing, and I think either Martha or someone mentioned that in the early on, our reaction times improve. Sometimes something happens to our body and we can react to it without even thinking about it, right? And I cook my breakfast every morning, and I this morning I was grabbing something and it fall off the cliff, and without even thinking about it, I just grab onto it very quick because you're so sensitive to your body, and you're so sensitive to your breath that your subconscious actually react before your brain, right? It's really good. All right. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Beth. I really appreciate these comments. Okay. All right. So now we're going to work on the bottom part of the body, because the upper part is mostly your heart and the lung, and the lower part is mostly your metabolic. Okay. Because it's with the liver, the gallbladder, the stomach, the the bladder, the spleen, and the kidney. They're all here. All right. So now we're going to work on the inside first. Again, inside is the yin, away from the sun. Outside, both here, here, and here are the yang. Okay. So we're going to work on the inside first. Above the knee, we identify two energy points. We do empty fist. So we're not, this, you just put the thumb on the outside very gently, 30 times. Wake up. Continue. And second one, continue. Okay. Now somebody says that the feet are very cold. Let me look at this. Okay, so Yang Chang says that my feet are often cold. Yeah. So as you continue to practice, you would notice improvement, especially later when we massage the bottom of the feet. Okay. Now we're going to do the outside. The Yang part of that is something that we name after the gallbladder. All right. Two energy points. Get ready. Go. Second one. And that's above the knee. We're going to work below the knee. Again, it's on the outside. This is the energy line that we name after the gallbladder. Okay. All right. So first of all, identify the knee. The energy points are never on the bone. It's never on the muscle. It's always in between. So bone, locate the first dimple. Right here. That's the important energy point that has a lot to do with immunity. Get ready, go. And in the middle. And further down. Okay, so this is the yang energy line that we name after the, the gallbladder. And this is the energy line that we name after the stomach. So I mentioned three things: sleep well, eat well, and not having problem with constipation. Those are the three things. They're all related to your body. And this one particularly has to do with your digestion. Okay, so this is the energy line that we name after the stomach. The stomach and the splint is one pair. They're the earth element. And just like growing tomato, the earth is very important because it's both for transport and transform, right? Transport means that it's the one that circulates the water. So this is actually related to your lymph node, lymphatic system, and as well as the stomach. Okay, so we come back to the knee. Come back to the knee. We locate four fingers and see the bone. Hang on just 1 second. I'm losing, for some reason, I'm losing full focus. Hang on. Okay. right? So back to the dimple, four fingers, and then here, and then outside. Okay, still towards the front. All right, and yes, both legs. Okay, you can do one at a time, or you can do both. Get ready? Go. And now measure four fingers again. Find the bone, outside the bone, still facing front. Get ready? Go. Okay, so this is the energy line that we name after the stomach. Is the yang energy line facing the sun. There's another part that is facing the sun, which is the back. And this is the one that we name after the bladder, which is the, the counterpart, the yang part of the kidney. So this is actually a very important energy point as you grow old because there's been scientific study, especially from the Center for Dementia Study in UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, my neighbors, and they identified this, and this they don't call it energy point, but they basically identify the calf with dementia, and they noticed that this one deteriorate very quickly if you were to have dementia, which I can vowed to, and my father suffered from this. So first you find your calf. So you lift up your heel, you find your calf. It's at the bottom of the calf. You can actually press it with your thumb. It really hurts. Okay. Now this is also important if you have high blood pressure. All right. So we're going to tap that 30 times. And then the other side. Lift up your heel, find your calf at the bottom of the calf, and then 30 times. Okay, now there's one thing you can do on your own, especially when you're watching TV. So you use the knee, right? So let's say I use the left knee. I put the bottom of my right calf on top of the knee, and then I just kind of do this and massage. Same thing on the other side, the bottom of the calf and massage. This is such an important energy point as we grow old. Okay, all right. So now we're going to move on to the toes. Okay, and the student who said that she has cold feet, this is the one you want to pay attention to. Now, in China, in the northern part of China, where it's very very cold and also not so easy to find firewood, they don't always take bath. In fact, there's a there's something that says that like the people in the very north they only took three baths in their lifetime. Once when they were born, and once when they were married or something, and then once after they die. So they don't take bath, but they always soak their feet. Every night they do that. Okay. All right. So there was a question about what do you call this type of treatment? There's no one single word that I can use because everybody does one aspect of it. I call this simply chi therapy, with understanding that therapy is a set of technique that you would use to overcome disorder. And I think if I have to point out one disorder of modern people, it would be the what's called autonomous disorder, meaning that there's disorder between the two autonomous nerve system, the fight or flight or the sympathetic, or the rest and digest, which is the parasympathetic. Okay, so when that happens, one of the things is that you become very resistant to cortisol because when you're fight or flight, your body creates a lot of cortisol, stress hormone. But if you do that 24/7, your body says forget it, not reacting to it. No different than if someone were to press your bell continuously, you just ignore it. So your body ignores cortisol, which is a natural form of steroid, which is there to reduce inflammation. So if you don't have that, your body inflames, right? And all the modern problems that we have, both physical and mentally, has a great deal to do with this chronic inflammation. And so I just call it chi therapy because if you think of your body as energy, and when there's free flow of energy in your body, between your body and the heaven, between your body and earth, so that you are actually a living organ the way it's meant to be, then your body does not inflame or inflame less. So that's what I call, okay, it's a long way of explaining what we do here. Now, if you have cold feet, this is the time you pay attention, all right? We're going to learn to massage our feet. Now, you have to ask, why do I have cold feet? Why do I have? Because your circulation is bad, your lung and your heart capacity is inadequate. So your body prioritizes, right? Focusing all the limited amount of oxygen you have in your bloodstream to your internal organs and not to the extremities, which are your feet, your fingers, and your ears. Okay, so when you get cold, they all get cold. All right, so now I want you to identify 5 toes, massage every one of them thoroughly, and then massage what I call the neck area of the toe. See if there's any bump in there. And then I want you to massage the inside the toes. Now, we have 6 energy lines originated from the toes for the same as 6 other originated from the fingers, making the 24-hour clock. 5 of them originated from the toe. 1 of them originated from the center of the bottom of your feet. So we're going to get there first by massaging the ball area. So we use a pincher, just massage. Now we get to here, which is like 1/3 of the way, not counting the toe. So if you start here, go here, 1/3. It's also at the bottom of this ball area. It's very easy to find. Use both thumb and just press. Now, for those of you who are doing this for the first time, it probably hurts. Okay, so this is what we call the gushing spring. Now, this is a lesson for modern people. We tend to lift up our feet because it's comfortable, right? When we're watching TV, when we're sitting on a massage chair or whatever, we lift up our feet. Well, there's good reason for lifting our feet because often we have problem with swelling and it's important to elevate, so let the, all that. But the point is that if you lift up your feet, you're not working in the field, you're not walking, you're disconnected from the earth because the earth energy goes right here. Right? That's why it's called gushing spring, right? So we just make up the difference by really pressing on this one. Okay, now we're going to use a good old scraper again. We're going to scrape the bottom of the feet from the heel to the center, to the ball, come back, left side, right side. Okay, so if you have cold feet, this is a good one. And then now we're going to massage the calf. The calf is very important because two important energy point line goes here. One has to do with the splint, one has to do with the kidney. So we're going to massage. Okay, now we're going to pick some important energy points. So remember the gushing spring. If we were to draw a curve between the gushing spring and the ankle, when it crosses the arch, there's an important energy point here, which is part of the kidney. Then in the back of the ankle, in between ankle and the Achilles heel, there's one here. Press. Now this is the kidney. The splint is very important. You can tell that someone has weak, deficient splint if their body's bloated or if they're extremely skinny. And even though they might consume a lot of food, but they don't gain weight, that's not a good thing. All right, so we're going to start this one and starting with the toe, the corner of the nail, 1. Then locate this piece of bone, move along this arch. Once you come down, there's a cavity here, 2. Move further down, 3, and then come back. We're going to jump. There's a bunch here, but we're going to jump to the angle again. We measure 4 fingers, and we locate the bone, right? So just right below the bone, there's this one called here called the triple one, the 3 in meat. Now, between here and the knee, we measure 4 fingers down. You locate the bone, and then you locate the calf. It's between the bone and the calf. You press down. It's very sore. It's very important that we do this next exercise, which is scraping the inside of our lower part of our leg, which is where the splint energy lines are. Splint energy lines are, and we scrape below the bone, in between the bone and the calf. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Okay. All right. So now we're going to work on the top part in between the toes. Come back. And then now open up the toe and the second toe, big toe and the second toe comes in here. You notice how the bone merges. Right before it merges, there's an energy point here, which has to do with the liver. And so if you're angry all the time to the point where you just can't sleep anymore, you want to relieve some of that anxiety, some of the anger, relieve the energy here. These are bad energy. Okay. All right. So now we're going to continue working on this energy line named after the liver by taking the toe, bend it back. You notice that we're stretching this tendon. This is one of the longevity tendon. So we stretch, massage. Okay, now we're going to do this water and fire exercise. Okay, water is here, fire is here. We bend back the toe, we form empty hand, put them together like this. All right, and we're going to tap 30 times. Get ready, go. Continue. Okay, ready? Now this technique was invented by a doctor in the Tang Dynasty. Tang Dynasty is about 1500 years ago, and this doctor actually wrote about this technique in one of his medical journal when he was 120. Right? All right. Okay, so quickly we work on the right foot. Okay, and massage. So we're going to do this really quick now because I don't. And then the neck. You should do this every night before you go to sleep, okay? And then inside. And then the ball area. And then the gushing spring. 1, 2, 3. And then the heel. The heel is the energy line that we name after the bladder. Then we scrape the bottom of the feet. Then we massage the arch. Then we massage the 2 remaining important energy points for the kidney. Starting here, draw a line between here and the ankle where it crosses the calf. And then also now we work on this other energy line. Start at the corner of the nail. Move down to this piece of bone. As you come down that hill, following that arch, first one, second one, and then the back of, going back to the angle, 4 fingers, locate the bone, locate the muscle in between the bone and the muscle. And then move up to the knee, measure 4 fingers down, again between the bone and the calf. Ooh, that hurts. And then now you scrape, 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 scrape. And this is especially important if you have swelling, okay? So how do you know if you have swelling? You use your thumb, you press down, and then you let go and see if it pops right back. If it doesn't, okay? And that's the problem, okay? Thank you, Martha. All right. right, then you work on the top of your feet. And then this one energy point, you press down and then massage again. And then take the thumb, but the big toe, bend it back, see the tendon, stretch that longevity tendon, and then give it a good massage. And then mixing the water and fire. Get ready, go. Continue. And massage. Okay. All right. So we're gonna move to the floor exercise now and get on with our qigong exercise, yi jing jing. Okay, and then we're gonna come back and meditate before the end of class. So before we do that, I might have told this story. I'm sure all my stories I've told once or twice. And so when I was um, when I was a teenager in high school, so I'm guessing I'm 17. My two brothers, they're twins. They're 3 years younger, so they're still in junior high back in those days. We all work. They we deliver newspaper. We work on Chinese laundry. One of my brother actually worked as a dishwasher. We pump gas. That's what we do, and we collected some money. We have money. This is how we live. Um, and then we decided that we want to buy pool table, a pool table back in the 70s, early 70s, very big. But we didn't want to buy just any other pool table. We didn't want to go to Sears Robot, if any one of you remember Sears Robot, and just buy one off the shelf like that. And so we look at Yellow Page. Wow, man, I really dated myself today. We look at Yellow Page. We look under pool table, and we find this little square, someone advertising for custom-made pool table. Wow, this is good. So I call up the guy, dial the phone, and a person answered the phone. We talk on the phone, and he explained to me how he makes his table. It sounds really good, solid oak and all that. And so we decided to meet at his shop, which is basically the garage of his house. I knock on the door, and out comes a Asian-looking person. Whoa, how did that happen? He speaks perfect English on the phone. So I was very impressed because I just got off the boat, man. I came here in 1971 when I was 15. I could hardly speak, let alone speaking without accent. And this guy really impressed me that he speaks so perfect. And turns out that he was a Korean American, and he worked as a investment banker. He's on the phone all the time. So he said, so I said, how do you do that? He says, oh, I have to do that because I don't want people to think that I'm a foreigner, because if I am, they won't trust me with their money. And so this is my survival skill. But how did you do that? He says, well, you just practice. I speak on a cassette recorder. Practice. I was so impressed. I was so impressed. So I've been here more than 55 years now, and every day I practice my English until about 10 years ago. As I age, my mother tongue started to come back. So don't ask me to pronounce splint because I don't know how. I used to be able to, but not anymore. My mother tongue says, it's time for me to come back, like it or not. All right, so we're going to first do the Yi Jing Jing exercise. Yeah, I know. Sprint. How's that work? All right, so we're first going to do Yi Jing Jing exercise, and then we're going to spend the remaining time meditating. Going to concentrate on this meditation technique, on this microcosmic organ. Let's loosen up our body. Put our hands on the knee. The knee is the elbow. The heel is the wrist. The toes are the fingers. The hip is the shoulder. Okay. All right. So now let's put the hand on the knee, And just like when we normally do joint exercise, focus completely on the knee. Yeah, 1, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do the heel. So right foot forward, heels up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do that with the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so now we're going to move to the toes. But it turns out that this exercise is a very important one because it activates both the kidney and the bladder, as well as the other energy lines, especially the kidney and the bladder. Now, the Chinese believe that if you have lower back problem, it's a it's a sign that you have kidney deficiency. Okay, so if you have lower back problem, you want to do this exercise, and you do this by standing. Open your shoulder, relax, and then you're looking straight ahead, top of the head up on top of your spine. You focus on the top of your head. Focus on the top of your head, and you stand on your toes, just like that. But you focus on top of your head. And then when you come down, you impact the heel. Second time, focus on the top of your head and come down and relax. One last time and relax. Okay. Now earlier we do the swinging arm. Now we're going to do that with the leg. So you stand on your left. It's very important that you focus on top of your head, especially after you kick. Okay. As soon as you kick, you come back to the top of your head. Get ready. 1, come back to the top of the head. 2, 3. Now go to the other side. Balance. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. If you have dementia, you cannot do this exercise because one of the problems with dementia is that your left brain and your right brain no longer are independent. Okay, and that's why people with dementia, their entire personality change because their emotional side and the logical side are now working, right? Crossing. All right. So now we're ready for this exercise, huh? This is a very good exercise, especially for those who are aging. We're all aging, everybody age, okay? Now, this exercise actually combines 3 elements: stretching, um, the cardio, and then also muscle building, right? All 3. Now, it comes in 14 set and basically dealing with all the energy lines. So the first one deals with the, this very important energy line called the governing vessel. Okay, it's basically your spine. It sends a shock wave through your spine. So it's very important. Let me show you. It's very important that let me just like this. Okay, now you stand with your feet firmly on the ground. You open your shoulder, relax the shoulder, lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin so the top of the head is on top of your spine. Now you rotate your feet so that they're pointing 45 degrees inward. Then you loosen up your knee. You don't have to go like this. You just loosening up your knee because if you lock a knee, you're using your bone. You loosening up your knee, then you're using your calf, that important energy point that we talked about, as well as your thigh. So that's important. You're loosening up your knee. All right. You open your shoulder. You relax your shoulder. You make sure you lean back the forehead, tuck in the chin, so you're forming a straight line. Let the shock wave goes all the way to the top of the head and come back. Now you take your hand, the center of the palm is facing the earth, but you put that just right so that you're forming a plane, okay? You put it in front, the energy doesn't travel efficiently. So you're forming a plane. You focus entirely on the center of the palm. And so when I say go, you check to see if your heart, your mind, and your body are together, okay? Before you push. Get ready? Go. And then relax back to the breath, one breath at a time. Breathe in, breathe out. Second breath, breathe in, breathe out. Now it's very important that you focus on your breath and you observe your breath at least twice, because you want to make sure that you have a balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Okay, you let your chance come back and basically restore itself. Okay, now second time, open your shoulder, relax your shoulder, taking your hand, center of the palm facing the earth, put that right at the plane. Focus on the center of the palm. Get ready. Go. And relax. Back to the breath. One breath. Two breath. Okay. Now, when you're in the rest and digest, what's going to happen is that it reactivates the saliva gland, and so your mouth should not be dry. Okay. And if you're not sure, when you're paying attention to your breath, you put the tip of the tongue at the roof of your mouth, right between the teeth and the roof of your mouth, and you just let the saliva comes back. Okay. Okay. Now one last time. Get ready. Go. And then focus on your breath. Close your mouth and put the tip of the tongue at the roof of your mouth. Feel the inside of your mouth. Okay, now the second one is called pointing the one tail. One tail is this energy point. So you take your hand, locate the thumb, use the thumb to point to the hip without touching the hip. You take the four fingers, you roll up into a fist, but with the thumb open like this. Imagine that you're putting 2 buckets of water on your thumb and you bent the thumb upward as if you're lifting those 2 buckets of water. You bent it as hard as you can. And then you relax the fingers without lowering your hand. You focus on your breathing. One breath, two breath. Second time, lift up those 2 buckets of water, bend your thumb upward as hard as you can, and then relax. Now this activates the large intestine energy line, so it has a lot to do with your detoxification. One last time. Lift it up and then relax. Now lower your hand back to your breath. One breath, two breath. The third one is called beginner's mind. It's like how the baby holds the hand. This is actually how they generate energy inside the mother's womb. So you take your thumb, you put it across, you take your four fingers, you roll up your fist, and you squeeze the thumb. It's the opposite of what we just did. Squeeze the thumb as hard as you can, and then relax your fingers without lowering your hand. Focus on your breathing. Very important, okay? Maintaining that balance. That's why I call this chi therapy. Restoring that order between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Second time, squeeze. This has a lot to do with cardio. Focusing on the breath. Two breaths, and then one last time. Squeeze your thumb, and then open your hands, lower your arm, completely relax, focusing on your breathing. Put the tip of the tongue between the teeth and the roof of your mouth. Feel the inside of your mouth. Now we're going to take a deep breath. So we put the fists together, put that below the belly button. This is the energy point called the chi of chi, the C of chi. This is how you receive energy from your mother. And then now we're going to take a deep breath in as we raise the hand. As we raise the hand, we raise the body. Okay. We don't stop in the middle. We go all the way up to here. Get ready? Breathe in. And then relax. Now the next one has to do with the back. The back is the gallbladder. Oh, a bladder. So again, it's greatly important for detoxification. So we take your elbow, you put it together, the fist in front of your nose, you focus entirely on your back, and you stretch your back, and then relax. One breath at a time. After two breaths, put the elbow together again, fist in front of your nose, focus entirely on your back, and stretch your back, and then relax. One last time. Stretch your back, and then relax. You know, you ever seen they put suction cups in the back? The athletes does that now. They have these marks in the back. They're doing the same thing. They're basically stretching the back using the suction cup. Okay, so we're doing that just by ourselves. All right. So now the next one is called fist on top of the head. So we focus on the fist, open our shoulder, bring the fist on top of a head, open the palm. Now we're going to roll the fist. Roll the fist means 1, 2, lock it with the thumb, open the shoulder, and squeeze. This is very cardio. And then relax, open the fingers, back to the breathing, one breath at a time. Second time, open the shoulder, roll the fist, and squeeze. And then relax. This exercise is actually very tiring. It requires a lot of strength. So that's why over time you become better and better at this. Open the shoulder, roll your fist, and squeeze. And then relax. The next one's called stabbing the shoulder. Remember the energy point on top of the shoulder? This is part of the gallbladder energy line. It has a great deal to do with the nerve. So we want to make sure that you clear the nerve into your brain. All right? Very important for aging. Open your shoulder. Now, imagine you're grabbing a dagger and you're pointing the dagger on top of your shoulder and you stab. Okay, now get ready. Open your shoulder, grab the dagger, point the dagger onto your shoulder, and you stab. You feel the tightness in the back of your head? Yeah, that's what you want. And then relax. Open your fingers. Second time, grab the dagger, open your shoulder, point the dagger onto the top of your shoulder, and you stab, feeling the stress in the back of your neck, and then you relax. Back to the breathing. One last time. Open the shoulder, stab, and then relax. One breath, two breath. Now the next one is called the cross. Here we're not punching, we're stretching. We're mainly stretching the upper part of the arm. All right. So open your shoulder and then stretch out your arm. Imagine you have two walls on the side. You first rotate your wrist, then you roll your fist, take a deep breath, and you push. And then you relax. One breath, two breath. Second time, roll your wrist, roll your fist, push, and then relax. One breath, two breath. One last time. Wrist, fist, take a deep breath, push, and then relax. Fun hanging. Lock your elbow. Same thing. Roll your wrist, fist, take a deep breath, push, and then relax. After two breaths, wrist, fist, take a deep breath and push, and then relax. One last time. Push, and then relax. Okay, the next two exercise has to do with the muscle, especially here and here. Okay, so Muscle is very important for aging. So open your shoulder, look up. Imagine you have a bar. Grab the bar. We're going to do chin up. Pull yourself up as hard as you can, and then relax. After 2 breaths, pull, and then relax. One last time. Pull, and then relax. Earlier I talked about yellow page. Let's grab onto the yellow page. We're going to rip the yellow page. And then relax. Use as much of your muscle as you can. Otherwise you lose it. Second time. And then relax. Focusing on your breathing. Close your mouth. Check to see if your mouth is wet. One last time. Rip. Relax. We're going to swallow. Collect all your saliva. Swallow all the way down to here. Swallow. Now the next one is actually quite important because it's working on your kidney, okay? And also here, which is also part of the energy line, this the yang part. So first you want to check to make sure that your toes are pointing inward and you're loosening up your knee. You don't lock your knee all the way towards the end, okay? So make sure you're loosening up your knee. Open your shoulder. Relax. Okay, we're back to here. So now the back of the hand touching goes down. Don't bend your back, just looking down. Don't bend your knee. Don't lock your knee. Okay, now you twist your arm so that the back of the arm are touching, and then you squeeze 3 times. 1, back of the hand touching, looking straight at the floor. 2, 3. Flip your hand so you're looking at the palm. Make sure your knees are bent all the way. Okay, don't lock your knee. Now get ready. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in again. Palm facing forward. Lower your knee. See this big rock in front. Push. Then you take a deep breath. And you completely relax. Focusing, starting at the bottom of your feet. Continue up to the top of your head. Now we walk back to a sitting position. Focus entirely on the center of a feet. 2, 3. As you approach your seat, focus on the center of your palm. Adjust your seat. Adjust your pillow. As you sit down, focus on the bottom of your butt as you sit on the pillow. We're going to spend 7 minutes meditating. But this is a form of meditations where we learn to use the stomach. Okay? So, but first we're going to focus on the sitting position. You can sit on the chair or you can sit like I do. If you sit on the chair, make sure the bottom of your feet are touching the floor and the bottom of your feet are below the knee, not in front, not in the back. If you sit like I do, you don't have to sit like this. You can sit any way you want. Make sure that you're not using your muscle. And if you cannot put your leg to your sitting mat, put some pillow, okay? Just don't use muscle. Hands just on the knee. Now, the next one is you want to stretch your back, stretch, as if you're hanging your spine onto the ceiling. Then you lean back and you relax. Then you open your shoulder and you relax. Now you need to lean back the forehead so the weight of the head is on top of your spine as if you're balancing a bowling ball. So that the ear is on top of the shoulder. Then you take your chin, you lower your chin so that the top of the head, this energy point called the 100 meat, where all the yang energy come together, is on top of your head, on top of the spine. We call this one pillar supporting the sky. You're forming this, the conduit between the earth and the heaven. Okay. Now you come to your eyebrow. In between the eyebrow, you relax. Then you relax your eyelid. So you're actually seeing through your eyelid, seeing through your eyelashes. You can see the floor. You can see your knee, your hand, but you're not focusing on anything. Finally, you come to your mouth. You check the inside of your mouth. Relax your teeth. Relax your jaw. Now you take the tip of the tongue and you rest it between your teeth and the roof of your mouth. You close your mouth. This reactivates the salivary gland. Finally, you need to bring that sense of gratitude onto your face, that smile onto your face. Okay? Now I want you to focus on your breath. I want you to put all your attentions on your belly button. As soon as you know that you're breathing in, you move forward as if you're bringing the belly button all the way across the room. As soon as you breathe out, you take that belly button as if you're collapsing the belly button to the back, as if you're bringing your belly button and your spine together. As soon as you know that you're breathing out, breathing in, forward, open that stomach, bringing the diaphragm down. As soon as you know that you're breathing out, bring back the belly button, collapsing the stomach, pushing the diaphragm up. Just focus on your belly button. Focus on your belly button, okay? Just forward and backward, okay? Now we're gonna do warm-up exercise for 3 minutes. We're gonna run over time a little bit, but that's okay. Just 3 minutes of warm-up exercise. Forward, backward. Okay, this requires incredible discipline because your mind is not going to want to do that. Your mind is as a monkey. It doesn't want to be held down like this. So your mind want to do something else. And what you need to do is you just need to convince your mind to come back, focus on your belly button. Every once in a while, you correct, you calibrate your posture. As soon as you know that you're breathing in, you stretch your upper torso. And then when you breathe out, you lean back your upper torso, maintaining that posture. And then back to the belly button. Okay, so we continue. We're done with the warm-up exercise. So you don't need to focus on your belly button anymore. Your body has now muscle memory. So I just want you to feel your breath, and you know that as your body breathes in, the stomach opens. You don't even have to tell it to. It will do that on its own. As you breathe out, the stomach collapses. Now I want you to start at the very bottom of your spine. Focus on the bottom of your spine. As soon as you know that you're breathing in, I want you to move up the spine towards the neck, continue to the top of the head, and then continue outside to the top of your head, outside the top of your head. And then as soon as you know that you're breathing out, come back to the forehead, come down to the bridge of your nose, the tip of your nose, your chin, all the way down to your stomach. When you breathe in again, go up, all the way up. Don't stop at your brain. Don't stop. Continue. When you breathe out, come back to the stomach. When you breathe in, go up, stretch your upper torso. When you breathe out, come down, lean back your upper torso. We call this the wandering dragon chasing the pearl. As you breathe in, the pearl rises, the dragon chases the pearl, walk up your spine. When you get to the top of the spine, it's a wandering dragon, so you don't want to harness it, just let it go. Let it go, the dragon goes into the cloud, hides in the cloud. And then when you breathe out again, the pearl reappears, the dragon comes back and continue to come down. And then it goes into your stomach and it hibernates. Until you breathe in, it comes up again, rises, stretch up the spine, up the torso, let it go beyond your head into the cloud. When you breathe out, come back from the forehead, lean back up the torso until it comes back into your stomach. Okay, focus, but relax at the same time. Okay, come back. Now, over time, you feel that your mouth is very wet, very, very wet. And your head is cool, right? So you bring in the water element to the top of your head. And you feel that your abdomen, your dantian is very warm. For the one who has cold feet, it actually helps a great deal bringing the heat element down to the lower part of your body. Okay, we're going to go over time. So we're going to do this for 7 minutes. It needs a lot of practice. Okay, do the best you can, but don't get excited. Just relax. Okay, open your eyes. Now we're going to put the palms together. There's an energy point here in the middle of the palm, which is the only energy point that gives out energy. So we're going to put that together. And we're going to put that on the temple, which is a very important energy point. We're going to massage the face, the front of the face, massage the forehead, and then we're going to move to the top of the head
This is the part of the brain that is responsible for the cognitive function. The back of the head, that's the memory function. And then the bottom of right above the neck, that's the small brain, that's the motor function. Now we're going to massage the neck, and then we come back to small brain, the big brain, and then the face. We're going to massage the ear, separating in three parts: first, second, and then third. Massage the tip, massage the edge, massage the ear loop, massage the back of the ear, and then we're going to stretch the back of the ear. One, two, and three. Okay, so that's the end of class. And thank you for all the donations. As I mentioned last week, by the way, I went back and looked at my numbers. I've been here, I actually started online practice before the pandemic, but and also English class in the middle, in the beginning of the pandemic. But on the Insight Timer platform is exactly 3 years. Okay, well, at the end of the year, will be exactly 3 years. And I collected your generosity about on average about $1,000 a year. I've been putting that in the bank, and so far we use it to support Renya Hong in his work inside the prison. And as I mentioned last week, we also donated on your behalf $2,000 to a gentleman by the name of Stephen Leong, who's a filmmaker, and this allows him to finish editing of his latest documentary film, which is about a gentleman who is of Hispanic heritage, lives in the Southern California area, has been imprisoned since he was a child, and in and out. And finally, he decided he met Venerable Hong, and he started to learn to meditate, understand the difference between physical suffering and mental suffering, and was able to walk back in his life. But then the film shows how difficult it is, how difficult it is for a person who has been previously incarcerated to actually come back to the society. So the film has three parts. It's about a person who has been incarcerated. It's about a person who's struggling to survive outside of prison. And turns out that he's very passionate about animals that has been abandoned, because he could really relate to that. He think of himself as just another being who's been abandoned, and so I believe it's a great piece of work. So on your behalf, I sent Stephen $2,000. Um, so, but we will continue. We will continue this group that I call the Mindfulness Fellowship. Is the idea behind that is that this is a fellowship for all of us fellow travelers, and in addition to practice for our health, both physical and mental, it allows us to pool our resources together and speak for those who does not have a voice. And so right now it's about the people who has been incarcerated and who are mostly poor and color and people of color. Okay. All right. So I just want you to know that all your donations are for a good cause. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And once again, if you use an iPhone or iPad, it's best that you make the donations on my profile page. Okay, so with that, I will bless you with good health, with peace, and with happiness. Namaste. I'll see you all next week. Keep on the practice. Everything that we do here is recorded on YouTube. Okay? All right. Thank you, Martha, Ken. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Paula, Lisa, and all the ones that have donated and who's with us, supporting us. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. 星期一
Bye
見。
bye.
OK，
Thank
拜
you.
拜。又一個禮拜啦吓。OK，拜拜。
係。